Okay, Year 8s. I'm going to do question 11 and 12 in class next week when we are doing some revision. Question 11 is quite extensive, to be honest, and I'd like to work through it on the whiteboard in class. I just might spend the last couple of minutes looking at question 10, which is some sort of problem-solving reasoning questions. An electrician charges a call-out fee of $40 and $60 per hour after that. So similar to the gardening question on revision sheet 1. So maybe these might be worthwhile studying Year 8s. Alright, so we're trying to find the cost. Okay, so I'm going to use cost. So the cost of this electrician is going to be $40 as a simple call-out fee for him to get to your house, plus $60 per hour, H for hour, every hour he works after that call out. So this is better written as cost equals $40 for the call out fee plus 60 H. That's probably your most simplified expression. Now we've got some substitution. How much would it cost if a particular job took 3 hours? So you're going to write cost equals 40 plus 60 times 3, because your hours has become the 3. So that's then going to equal, sorry, running out of room, cost equals 40 plus 6 3s are 18, so $180. The cost equals in dollars $220. So he had to create an expression, or sorry, an equation to use for the cost of this electrician. Then we got told how many H's or how many hours he worked for. Therefore, because we actually got told the value of our hours, we could work out an answer here for $220. Alright, I might spend a bit of time starting to break down this question, but I will go through it in class again. Michael would like to build a fence around his paddock. Okay, so find a simplified expression to list or state the perimeter of his paddock. So the perimeter is all the sides plus together. Let's have a look at this part. If we sort of cut this here, we could agree that this length down here is x and this length down here is 5. And we could say that that little length there is 4, and therefore this little length here is y, based on what we know. Okay, the y's are the same length if we kind of cut it there. And the 4 has come from there, the 5 has come from there. So the perimeter is going to equal 2y's plus 2x's plus, okay, 4 plus 4 is 8, and 5 plus 5 is 10. That's your most simple version. Oh no, it's not. Then we can go perimeter equals 2 of the y's plus 2 of the x's plus 18, because we can group the constants together to give us 18. Now we can sub in and say, well, perimeter equals 2y plus 2x plus 18. So we're taking our rule and using it. So perimeter equals 2 times y, but now we've been told that y is 6 plus 2 times x, which we've been told is 7 plus 18. Okay, so now we get perimeter equals 12 plus 14 plus 18. 12, 14 and 18. So that's going to be 14. 2 plus 8 is 10, and that's 44. So the answer is 44. So it's about looking at this and grouping together the y's in the first instance, grouping together the x's and grouping together all the constants to actually get your rule, and then substituting in. Okay, what about area? We've kind of got 2 areas we're going to have to group together. So if we look at this, and I'm going to do it this way, I'm going to call this area 1, and I'm going to call this space over here area 2. So area 1, area is always length times width. So the length of this is x, multiplied by y. So that equals xy to be simplified. Okay, the area for this is going to be, right, 4 plus y is the length multiplied by the width. Okay, so now we're finding the area of area 2. So the length is a bit funny, it's 4 plus y. Okay, multiplied by 5. So area 2, we can start to look at it like this. 4 inside the bracket plus the y. This is pretty serious problem solving year 8s. This one was fairly straightforward. It's x multiplied by y. X multiplied by y. Over here we can see that this length is written as 4 plus y, and we have to multiply it by 5. If we look at it and we want to get rid of those brackets, remember we expand. So that is going to be 20 plus 5y. So now the area total of area 1 plus area 2 is area 1 plus area 2. Okay, area 1 ended up being a nice simple xy plus 20 plus 5y. So that there, year 8s for me, is one option for the area of that composite shape up here. We found a formula for area 1, length times width, which is x times y. We found a formula by expanding to make it simpler, to get rid of the brackets. Okay, for area 2, which was more complicated because we had to notice that it's 4 plus y was the length, multiplying it by 5, and then we realized we can expand it. Then we have to add these two areas together. So xy was area 1, and then this comes from area 2, and these can't be collected any further. Okay, this one, all I did here was sort of thought, well, this is division. What's the opposite of division? The opposite of division is multiply. So what's 12 times 6? Okay, 12 times 6 is 72. So for me, 72 has to be on the top. Now we have to think about those variables, because that's how you're going to get 12. 72 divided by 6 gives us 12. Now if there's an a and a b left, there has to be a b in this, and there has to be an a squared. So if you actually think about it now, it's 72 times a times b over 6 times a. But then that can really be 6 times, oh dear, there's no room. So 72a squared b over 6a, and we're hoping it equals 12ab. So I identified here that 6 times 12 is my key to break it down. So 6 times 12 is 72. Times a, I've guessed the a squared and the b. Okay, I'm trying to work out, because there has to be an a and a b in the left in the answer, times b. So these things here I've had to think about and go, if there's an a and a b left in the answer after I've cut things out or cancelled things out, okay, there has to be an a, some a's and b's in the initial question. 6 times a. So now I can go 6 is cancelled out, and my a is cancelled out. Now you can see that my leftover is 12ab. So that, again, that's some decent problem solving there to go, well, how did I get my 72? I thought 6 times 12 is the easiest way to figure out 72. Then I looked here and I realized, and I remember that you have to cancel out when we're dividing. So if I track back and think to cancel out and therefore have an a and a b left, there had to be more a's and b's left in the denominator, so I made it a squared and b.